Hey guys, Alex Onrud. Hey, today we're going to be talking about spectrums of human performance. Every week when we're going through this, what we're looking at is understanding that what you think something is, the box you want to put it in, isn't actually representative of all that that thing is. So an example of this is in the DISC assessment. We often say they're a D, an I, an S, or a C, or well, most people do. I don't. The DISC measures four different categories of behaviors along the spectrum, and people operate in that spectrum. And so while you may think you know where someone is, they may show up differently at different time. You may experience them differently. And so the idea of the spectrums of human performance this day, this video series that we're going to do, is really helping you understand that people in general are unique and different, that everybody brings something different and unique to the table. And the more that you can understand, the more you can step into other people's reality, the more you as a leader can help your people thrive, the more you can find how people connect, how they fit together, the more you're able to adapt your own communication, the way you're able to have more patience with yourself and empathy for others. So I was working with the team, and one of the things that they were struggling with was they brought on this new agent. They were a rock star. They were a seasoned agent. They were phenomenal. They brought them in and they had all these hopes and aspirations, and the guy just wasn't performing. And there was a challenge because it's like the leadership was like, what do we need to do? How did we fail? What are we messing up on? And they're trying to figure it out. And I love the fact that the leadership was taking ownership. Like, it's not my guy's fault. It's my fault. This is a huge thing. Leadership is always responsible for the performance of their team. It may be that they're not a good fit, then get rid of them. But here's the thing is that if they're on your team, you are the leader, you are responsible to adapt your communication to get the results. So I love that they were doing this. But the challenge is that they had this idea of who this person was going to be, and they weren't showing up that way. And so they kept trying and trying and trying, and it wasn't working. And we sat down and I was having a conversation with the owner of the team, and I said, let's have a discussion. And what we talked about is really what we're going to talk about today is the difference between essence, experience, and labels. Now, I'm not going to go heavy into the real estate side in this video. This video, I want to go more broad. I want to go more high level. I want to go abstract and talk ideas and philosophies. Maybe next week we'll dive deeper into the same topic because there's a lot to cover here. There are three different aspects in evaluating a thing. If I'm telling you about something, let's take this cup. There's a cup. There's my experience of the cup, and then what I tell you about the cup, which are the labels I use. Now, what I want to do is if I'm holding this cup in my hand, I want you to prove to me that this cup is real. Hear it, right? Move it around, touch it. So you guys are looking at this cup. So let's just say it's a visual. Processes through the optical nerve, processes in the brain. Okay, prove to me it's real outside of your head. Someone comes over, they grab it. I go, cool. Except that's an electromagnetic dispersion of energy, processes through the body into the neurology, processes in your brain, again, and then you hallucinate that you're actually feeling it down here. And even if all of you agree with me that this cup is real, the only way I know you agree with me is because I'm observing you agree with me. Now, what I'm not saying that there isn't a reality. This is a cup. What I'm saying is my experience of this cup is personal and unique. Reality isn't fact, reality is perception. How you see the world around you is a reflection of what you have going on inside. If you see beauty around you, if you see joy, if you see trouble and strife, if you see people who are trying to take advantage of you, or you see people who want to support you, maybe you're in the wrong environments or you're in the right environment. But that's also reflective because you're interpreting your external world with what's going on the inside. This cup, while I'm not arguing whether or not it's real, you can't prove it's real outside of your head, because in order for you to see this cup, you have to process it inside, which means it's got to go through your neurology, your baggage, your emotions, your beliefs. Every agent on your team, the way that you see them is processed through your filters. So what is the three? There's the essence. The essence is the cup. The cup exists, but I will never know the cup. The more, I'm going to go away from cup because knowing the cup sounds really weird. I have an agent. I'm working with this agent, and I want to get to know them. No matter how much I know this agent, I will never know the essence of the agent, because the agent is a unique person. I don't know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what's going on. I can get close by understanding more of human behavior, human performance. It's like the class that I'm teaching on the 15th. It's a deep dive into understanding how and why people think, which is awesome, but you still won't know the essence. Whatever you think they are more than that. They're constantly growing, constantly developing. One of my mentors, Dr. Matt James, says all the time, whatever you think you are, you're more than that. And it's because you yourself, even in the observation of self, are filtering your perception, which means there is a you outside of your experience of you. So now there's a you, there's the experience you have of you, and next we try and communicate that experience with others. I just got back. I went on a trip. I flew to Spain. It was an amazing experience. I was there for 2.5 weeks. And I say it's an amazing experience. It doesn't encapsulate, even begin to scratch the surface of what I saw. If I start talking about the cathedral in Sevilla, and I'm like, okay, and then I talk about the tower, or I talk about the cathedral, or I talk about the rooftop, or whatever I talk about the rooftop, and I talk about the arch, or I talk about the cement, or I talk about the view, or I talk about the experience. There are so many words, but you can't come close to describing the experience. They say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and that's only the visual. You've got visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. It's like you've got all 5 of your senses, plus any extra senses you may be carrying with you. Your experience isn't the same as the labels you're using. Neither are your agents. So when they're trying to explain something to you, what they're going through, what they're doing, you need to look past the words that they're saying, because those labels are only representations of something deeper that's inside, that is the experience that they had. And their experience is a filtered representation of what really happened. So now we've talked about the experience being a filtered representation of the thing. Now we're talking about the labels being a filtered representation of the experience. So labels. In a room filled with 100 people, I write on the board the word sex, or I write on the board the word love. And I go up and I go, okay, I want everyone to write out 5 words. What does this word mean to you? I've done this in front of 10 people. I've done it in front of 100 people. I've done it in front of 1,000 people. And when I've done this exercise, and then I have everybody look at their words at the end, and I go, okay, I have somebody, I'm like, who's brave enough to share? And somebody stands up and they read their thing. And they go, okay, I'll share. I go, cool. So they share the list. They're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They nail what these 5 things are. And I go, okay. So I make sure I got the list right. I read it back. Okay. So I write it up on the board. I go, okay, who has the exact same list as this person? Raise your hand. Room of thousands. Nobody raises their hand. Occasionally, I've heard in this exercise, there have been 1 or 2 times where there's been duplicates. If you did 10, there wouldn't be. You see, here's the thing, is that the words that we use have a meaning that is unique and different to each of us. So even if we both say, oh, they loved it, our representations of what that word means is different. What happens is when we use labels, words, to communicate, we hear the words, it creates and activates a neural network in our brain that fires off a representation of experiences, a conglomerate of experiences that we have had. That's what baggage is. It's also what your happy and joyful memories are. So it fires off a conglomerate of experiences that we've had. And then once that fires off, it creates a physiological response, which is now our experience of hearing what you're saying. And then we have to reflect and go, okay, so now we know what this thing is. No, you don't. You've barely scratched the surface of the essence. So then you got to go, okay, so what is it? What is it? How do I know what the essence is? How do I know what the experience is? How do I know what the labels are? The essence of the thing is, you're going to make that choice. You get to decide. Everybody operates from love and beauty, and that's who they are on the inside. And you have people who are callous and short, but on the inside, they're love and beauty. Or people are horrible and they're bad. Either one, you get to choose. This is your reality. Your reality is your facts, and I'm going to let you do that. But the essence of someone's being, you will never know. All you know is your experience. Your experience is filtered. And when they communicate, they're communicating a filtered experience of the filtered essence. So as you guys are communicating, communication is important. It's so vital. But the assumption that there is a right, a real, a truth, the only way, I want you to start loosening that boundary. Start thinking instead about the fact that everybody has their own reality, that everybody has a truth, that everybody has an experience, and that's unique and different and special. And that's okay. Doesn't conflict with yours because they have different information on the inside that they're processing just like you. So I'm going to end this video. Most of my videos are going to end the same way. I want you to remember reality isn't fact. Reality isn't real. Reality is what you make it. Make it a great day, everyone. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.